Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, man? What's going on, man? What's cracking, everybody? Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clearly. And this is a wild story we're going to talk about today, man. Now, we got three things we're going to discuss, but obviously you can see by the picture right there in the background, we're going to continue talking about this whole YSL, YFN situation, and I'm talking about the different RICO cases. Now, with YSL, you had several artists on the YSL label that got locked up and got arrested. You had people by the name of like Duke, Lil Duke got arrested. You had Yak Gotti, who's one of the most well-known members of YSL as far as the record label is concerned. And you had Gunna and Young Thug, obviously, right? Now, hopefully you guys have been keeping track of what's been going on out here in these YouTube streets and also on social media. But we're going to break the code on this one because it's being said and it's being alleged that Yak Gotti out here telling, man, and that he been telling since 2015. And I am not lying, man. Now, to be real, I can't go on record and say that. I don't know for a fact that's all true. But one thing I do know for certain is I pulled the case file from the case in 2015 and the Court of Appeals. It was the 11th District Court in Georgia, the Court of Appeals in 2018, and several times it's mentioned that Yak Gotti gave up testimony to police officers, man. I am not making this up. This is what I'm talking about. This is for real, man. Now, Yak Gotti, you guys might remember, is one of the people who's being named in the indictment as taking part in several different events, several different cases. Like, he's mentioned throughout the indictment several times. I want to say like 16 times. But man, the information that came out from this 2018 appeals court is something to look at, man. And I was, for YSL, this story just keeps getting worse and worse. Because, I mean, that's one of their number one dudes over there, apparently, or allegedly, right? Now, I'm not saying he's affiliated with YSL any street stuff. I'm talking about YSL, the label, you know what I mean? But, man, according to the indictment, things ain't looking good. And according to what took place in 2018, it ain't looking good either. So I want to get right to this story, but I'm going to give a couple shout outs before we get it going, man. So who we got in the house? Portland, Jamaica, I see you. Who else we got? Trenton, New Jersey, what's up? Dallas, Texas, I see you. Decatur, what's up? Where things are greater. Ziggy Z, I see you representing that Charlotte, North Carolina. Who else we got in the chat, man? We got San Antonio, Texas in the building. What up, San Antonio? Asheville, North Carolina, what's up? I see people tapping in, checking in from all over, man. That's what's up, man. He told from 219, huh? Okay. Los Angeles, Cali checking in. Denver checking in. What's up, Denver? 707, Napa, California. Always with the bottle. I get it. I know that's the wine capital of the world. What's up? Detroit, what's up? East Chicago, what's up? Now, as y'all get in here, everybody, run them likes up, man. You know what I'm saying? Your boy had to go through the whole trenches to get the actual paperwork so we can dissect this thing. So go ahead and make sure you hit that like button and run them likes up. All right, Austin, Texas, what's up, man? ATL, what's up? East Side, I see you. 401 Prov City to 706, what up, man? Atlanta, Zone 3, what's up, Zone 3? You know what I mean? What's that? Ben Hill, Ben Real. DC, what up? All right, Carolina checking in from Florida, I see you. Fillmore, San Francisco, what up, Fillmore? What up? Cincinnati, what up? What's good, man? What's good to you? Rochester, New York, what up? New Orleans, Houston, Detroit 2 times. South Carolina up in here to 803. I see Phoenix, Arizona. I see South Central Los Angeles. What's up? What up? Miami to Atlanta. What up? Baby D from Charlotte, North Carolina. Baby D. That reminds me of next Friday, or the Friday after next, I should say, man. Is that next Friday? Yeah, that's next Friday with Baby D. Phoenix, I see you. Nashville, I see you. What's up? Georgia to VA, I see you, man. You locking down that whole Southeast. What up, Texas? What up, Detroit? Yeah, they wilding on the likes, man. Y'all run them likes up, man. Your boy had to get that official paperwork, and we going to dissect this joint, like I said, man. Also, we're not just only going to talk about Yak Gotti, but that's going to take up most of the time. We also going to talk about Young Thug, and a lot of people have come out today to speak on his behalf as far as his bond is concerned. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people. I'm talking about a lot. Yeah, Meek Mill and stuff like that. And eventually we're going to get to King Yella and the whole situation with him crying online and what that might have been about. Like yesterday we just did a story about FYBJ, man. So, you know, might be related. So we'll get to that. What up, 415 Fillmore? What up, man? Tampa, Florida, what's up? Bronx, New York, what's up? Fayetteville, Arkansas, what up, man? Is there a Fayetteville in every southern state? That's a legitimate question, dog. I swear in the Southeast, there's a Fayetteville in North Carolina. I think there's a Fayetteville in South Carolina, Georgia. Like, that's a popular name in the Southeast. What up? South Bend, Indiana. What's up, man? Notre Dame up in the house, huh? 513 Cincinnati. What up? What up? Okay. What up, Cleveland, Ohio? I see y'all already going into the discussion about this information that came out today about Yak Gotti and that 2015 case possibly telling, man. So we'll talk about it. Now, I don't know for a fact he was telling. We're going to dissect this paperwork. And I don't want to be the one to put this out there. You know what I'm saying? I want to just talk about it like y'all want to talk about it, man. And we going to really get to the nitty gritty of what they say in these court documents. These are official court documents. I ain't playing with it, man. Cleveland, Ohio, what's up? Bronx, New York, what's up? Cincinnati, New Orleans, I see you. The 202, I see St. Louis 314, what's up, man? I see you checking in. Bronx checking in. 816 checking in. I see you. The 615. Philly up in this junk. Cleveland in here. Chicago to Dallas. Chicago, y'all always in here heavy, man. Like, I look at my analytics. I know it's a lot of people from Chicago that watch my channel. Like, a lot. You know what I'm saying? Jackson, Mississippi, what's up? Knoxville, Tennessee. I see you, Portland, Jamaica. What up? All right, man. Greenwood, Mississippi, what's up? All right, with all that said, man, let's get to it, man. We got to get to this thing, man. All right, so this is what we're going to talk about starting off. Now, Yak Gotti, who is a YSL artist, had a case in 2015 that's kind of been out there lingering, right? Now, I don't know if he thought people would never find this out or if this information was, because there's several times in the case file where there's information that's sealed. That's a red flag already, right? But today, people went to searching and brought up this 2015 case, and when it went to appeal in 2018, and man, it doesn't look good for your boy Yak Gotti. Now, Yak Gotti is one of the YSL artists who's wrapped up in this RICO case and currently locked up, man. All these cats are waiting for bond and waiting to see where things will take them, you know what I'm saying, as far as this case is concerned. And it ain't looking good for YSL or even YFN at each and every turn. Now, YSL has their separate RICO case, and YFN Lucci and YFN, they got their own RICO case. But these things have been playing out in social media and in media, like for everybody to see. And the craziest thing that's running around right now is a lot of people are calling Yak Gotti a snitch. Now, I am not saying that. I don't know that for certain. All I know is that what's being said in this case file and that what was said in the case file when he went to the appeal court in 2018 doesn't look good for anybody who would think otherwise. You know what I mean? So let's get to it, man. Now, in order for us to kick things off, man, we got to keep it official, like a ref with a whistle, and y'all know what that means. Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. And as you can see, we're going to be talking about Yak Gotti, man. Now, Yak Gotti is a YSL artist. Dude got wrapped up in this RICO case, and now we're going to talk about what's been running around in social media today. Now, the rumor is, and I want to say off first, this is a rumor, is that Yak Gotti has been telling on members of YSL since 2015. Like, for real, man, this is what is going out there. And there's some paperwork out there and there's some documents out of the case file from this 2015 arrest that kind of support that rumor, right? So we'll say it like that. Now, I'm not going to call him a snitch because I ain't a street dude. I don't have the ability to label somebody something. But, man, when you look at these documents that we're going to look at, you can make up your own mind, right? Now, the first thing I want to do is look at... Man, let's actually look at him in the RICO case. So he's been mentioned in the RICO case several times, right? So let's look at and bring up some of that. Now, in the RICO case, there was a 2015 arrest that was mentioned. And this is the first time that he got mentioned in there. Now, you see Yak Gotti's real name, DeMonte Kendrick, and you see another gentleman by the name of Martinez Arnold. Now, Martinez Arnold, a.k.a. Duke, a.k.a. Lil Duke, is a member of YSL also allegedly, right? Now, in this, you can see that it's mentioned, and we're going to read this, and we're going to take it slow and reach each part of this. So that way, you know, I'm not trying to put somebody out there, and we're not trying to label somebody something that they ain't. You know what I mean? We're going to just read what's in front of us. Feel me? All right. So it goes on to say this. It says, defendants Martinez Arnold and DeMonte Kendrick, Duke and a.k.a. Duke and a.k.a. Yak Gotti, associates of YSL, did commit the felony offense of conspiracy to commit murder by driving to the territory of a rival gang with the intent to cause death or another human being in retaliation for a prior shooting by the rival gang, while armed with an AK-47 assault rifle and a .40 caliber handgun in violation of Georgia law pursuant to whatever code, which is an act of racketeering activity under a different code and an overt act in the furtherance of the conspiracy. Now, many people would say, that's a lot of information. You know what I'm saying? How in the world do they know what in the world they were at when they got what they were there for when they got arrested with the alleged weapons? You know what I'm saying? Like, that seems like they have some inside knowledge of what's going down. Like, why in the world do they know the fact that they're there at a rival gang's territory and that they're there to shoot somebody? Like, how do they know that definitively? Like, as it's mentioned in this indictment, or I should say allegedly, as it's mentioned in this indictment. You know what I mean? It's said like it's fact. So where in the world are they getting this type of information? Well, as we continue through this, you're going to see some of this information might have came from Yak Gotti, as mentioned in the case file from this very arrest on October 1st, 2015. And I am not making that up, man. Like, for real. So let's continue, man. All right. So in the next part, we'll talk about this. So this is another part from that same arrest and another charge from that same arrest, I should say. So in this part of the arrest, it says, oh, excuse me. Now it says that defendants Martinez and DeMonte Kendrick, associates of YSL, did commit the felony offense of conspiracy to commit murder by driving the territory of rival gang with the intent to cause death of another human being in retaliation prior to shooting by a rival gang, while armed with an AK-47 assault rifle and a .40 caliber handgun in violation of Georgia law pursuant to whatever code racketeering act. So it's pretty much the same thing, right? Almost like the exact same thing. So, all right. So let's speed past that. And let's bring up this second part. So let's check out this. Now, this is straight from the RICO indictment with YSL. So in this second part, it says, defendants Martinez Arnold, a.k.a. Duke, and DeMonte Kendrick, associate of YSL, did commit felony offense of theft by receiving stolen property. Now, it also says, when they possess property, to wit, a firearm, the property of Christopher Greer, that Arnold and Kendrick knew or should have known was stolen with the intent of depriving Christopher Greer of said property in violation of Georgia law pursuant to whatever code, which is an act of racketeering activity under an overt act of furtherance in the conspiracy. So once again, you have Duke, aka Lil Duke, you know, from YSL allegedly, and Yak Gotti, and it seems like they have an understanding of their whole purpose of being there. You know what I mean? A big part of the defense, and if you're a lawyer, tell me in the comments, man, or in the chat. But this is what I deduce from this. A big part of the defense is being able to say, yo, you don't know my intent of being there. You don't know the reason why I'm there. And that's why this might seem like somebody was giving them some inside knowledge of why they was there. You feel me? Now let's continue on to this very next part from the RICO indictment where Yak Gotti is mentioned, and as well as this 1 October 2015 arrest. So let's look at that one. This last part right here, right? Now in this part it says defendant DeMonte Kendrick, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony offense of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon in violation of Georgia law pursuant to whatever code by possessing a firearm, to wit, a handgun, after having been convicted of a felony indictment in the Maricopa County, Arizona Superior Court for felony offenses of shoplifting and possession of dangerous drugs on the 15th day of May 2015, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. So this got me thinking, man. Okay, first off, his Arizona arrest got wrapped up in this. And they seem to have a lot of knowledge about what the purpose and everything that took place on 1 October 2015. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm speeding through this, or maybe I'm looking too much into this. But it seemed like they had a lot of inside knowledge of the purpose that Yak Gotti and everybody was out there to begin with, right? So let's actually take it a step further and look at the document that's going around social media. And I want to show you guys this so you know that I'm not making anything up, or I'm not, you know what I'm saying? All right. Make sure you guys see this so you know that I'm not making anything up, or, you know, playing with stuff, you know, playing with people's names. Now, this is the actual case file right here. You know what I mean? Real deal. Yeah, file number, everything, man. You can check that out yourself if you want to. You know what I mean? Now, in this is in the United States Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit, and you see the docket number and all that, and you see DeMonte J. Kendricks, a.k.a. Yak Gotti's name, right? And you see before Rosenbaum, Julie Carnes, Hull, Circuit Judge. So that's the judges that it went before, right? Now, in this, I'm going to have to break it up into pieces because I don't want to scroll through and read this whole thing like we reading a book report or something out here, man. So what I did is we chopped it into pieces for you guys to have and look at. So let's actually look at this. So let's pull up part 1 for you guys to look at. And this is out of the same document. No doctrine or anything of that nature, right? So in this very first part, you see this, right? You see that it says, on October 1st, 2015, so this relates to the indictment as well, Kendricks and his passenger, Martinez Antoine Arnold, a.k.a. Duke, he's listed as Duke in the indictment, so I'm going to go by that name, fled a traffic stop and engaged in a short, high-speed chase that ended after Kendrick ran to a stop sign, lost control of the vehicle, and hit a guardrail. The police apprehended the men after they attempted to flee on foot. So according to this, you know, this part of the appeals court document from 2018 says that, you know, they had lost control of a vehicle after being in a high-speed chase. They tried to flee on foot and were ended up being captured. Now, upon searching the vehicle, the officers discovered a small amount of, you know, the green stuff or whatnot, as well as a pistol and a semi-automatic rifle, both loaded. So they're saying that they had a pistol and a semi-automatic rifle, both loaded. Now, if you guys remember, when we looked at that short part from the indictment, it says that it was a AK-47 style rifle and I think some type of handgun. You know what I mean? But let's continue. Now, it said later investigation revealed that both firearms were stolen. Remember also that they said there was a guy by the name of Greer who something was stolen from, some property was stolen from, and that the intent purpose was to steal it from them so that they could use it for whatever, right? Now, in subsequent interviews with police, Kendricks admitted that he owned the rifle and that he lent it to Arnold, who planned to use it that night to retaliate. Stop right there. Now, for some people, that's enough right there. Now, just so you guys know, Kendrick, a.k.a. Yak Gotti, you know what I'm saying? According to this document, admitted that he owned the rifle and that he lent it to Arnold, who planned to use it that night to retaliate. All right, man. All right. So, man, you guys call it what you want. But a lot of people on social media are calling this something, you know what I mean? Are saying that that right off the bat is some sort of telling or whatever. Now, I'm not going to judge him like that. I don't know if that's true or whatever. It's just what's in the Court of Appeals document, right? Now, it goes on to say these things as well. So let's look at this part too. Now, it says, in subsequent interviews with police, Kendricks admitted that he owned the rifle and that he lent it to Arnold, who planned to use it that night to retaliate against a rival gang who beat him up. So, saying that Yak Gotti admitted that he owned the rifle and gave it to Kendrick, a.k.a. Duke, in order to use against some rival gang members who beat him up. Now, Kendricks also told the police, So, Kendricks also told police that the pistol was his and described an unrelated incident involving the firearm. So, they're saying, hold up now. Now, come on, man. Give me something to work with, bro. Like, I'm trying to lobby on behalf of Yak Gotti, but they're saying that Yak Gotti also told police that the pistol was his and described an unrelated incident involving a firearm and talked about something that he didn't even have nothing to do with this situation. Come on, bro. All right. And not saying that this is true. Just because it's in the case file doesn't mean it's true, because later on we're going to talk about the fact that Yak Gotti and his lawyers tried to do a motion to suppress this information. So let's continue. Now, Kendricks and Arnold were both charged in state court, but while Kendricks was also charged in the instant case in federal court, Arnold was not charged in federal court. After unsuccessfully moving in the instant case to suppress his statements to police, Kendricks pled guilty to being a felon in possession of and we'll continue that part. So what you can deduce from that is, after unsuccessfully moving in the instant case to suppress his statements to police, Kendricks pled guilty. So they're saying that Yak Gotti tried to move in the instant of the case to suppress his statement that he made to police. That's what they're saying here, right? So let's continue, man, and break this down some more. Now, in this third part, I had to highlight it myself. Don't mind the highlighting. I know it looks crazy, but man, let's get to it. It says Kendricks and Arnold were both charged in state court, but while Kendricks was also charged in the instant case in federal court, Arnold was not charged in federal court. After unsuccessfully moving in the instant of the case to suppress his statements to police, Kendrick pled guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm. Both Kendrick's and Arnold's state court cases are still pending. Now, what do you guys consider that? Like, is that enough to say he was out here doing some telling? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he was, you know what I'm saying? But it says, after unsuccessfully moving in the instant case to suppress his statement to police. I don't know. That just doesn't look good, man. And I think that's why social media is running wild with this right now. And my bad for neglecting the chat, but y'all do me a favor and don't neglect that like button. Run them likes up. Hit that like button. We should be at over 500, 600 likes right now, but we're going to continue, man. We're going to get to the rest of this. So let's check out this next part from that 2018 Court of Appeals case. So let's look at this right here. Now, as you see right here, it starts off by saying this. It says the guideline for the count of conviction was whatever, U.S. code or whatever. For the sole count, the base offense level was 20 because the offense involved a firearm capable of accepting a large capacity magazine, the semi-automatic rifle. And Kendricks, aka Yak Gotti, was a prohibited person at the time he committed the offense. So they're saying that he was prohibited from having a weapon at the time this offense was even committed. And so the base offense level is 20. So they go by some sort of point system, like in many states. And, and I think this was on the federal level, but I think it was still handled by the state. It gets confusing at times, but there's some sort of point system. So that was the baseline, right? Now the court added 2 points under whatever code to the offense level because the pistol was stolen. And it added another 4 under this other code because Kendricks knowingly allowed Arnold to possess the rifle to be used in connection with a planned drive-by shooting, another felony offense. Hold up, man. So how do they know all that? I'm sorry, I got to play devil's advocate. How do they know that he was planning to use it for a drive-by unless somebody told him that? Or if maybe they made it up. We'll say that, right? It's possible, right? Now, under this code right here, 2 more points were added because Kendricks recklessly created a substantial risk of death or serious bodily injury to another person when he fled from arresting officers in a high-speed chase and ran a stop sign before crashing. So they're saying they started to rack points up on him for all the different things that were listed. Like when we went through the indictment and we were talking about the different charges, you had the theft, you had the the fleeing and all that. And this is one set of charges. This is just all from the 1 October 2015 case, including Yak Gotti and Lil Duke, a.k.a. Lil Duke and a.k.a. Yak Gotti. You know what I mean? So it looks like he was racking up points, man. And it looks like, man, based on all this, he wasn't going to be seeing daylight for a long time. So let's go on to this very final part right here. And a lot of people are going to look at this and say, okay, now this makes sense. Now it says the government asked the court to account in Kendrick's sentence for certain conduct that Kendrick did not plead guilty to. For this part, Kendrick's argued, now Kendrick's is Yak Gotti, remember, argued for a below guideline sentence of 37 months imprisonment, arguing that Arnold initiated the instant offense. Now stop right there. So basically, they're saying that he needed a sentence below the guidelines based on all those points that we were talking about earlier, right? And that the sentence needed to be of 37 months. And arguing that Arnold, a.k.a. Duke, who's listed as Duke in the indictment, initiated the instant offense. So is that telling? Y'all tell me, man. I don't know, man. That's saying that, hey, man, he started it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should only get 37 months because he was the one who got jumped and wanted to go back and retaliate, because that's what it said earlier in the indictment, right? Or earlier in this case file, that he said, yo, he went back, he had got jumped, so he wanted to go back to the rival gang's hood, is what it said. Now, his prior criminal history was for shoplifting only, and his offense level was higher because of his honesty during his interviews with police. None of that sounds good for a gangster rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, his honesty during his interviews with police, crazy, man. This is crazy. I'm wondering, did Yak Gotti during his rap career ever think this would come to light? Now, we'll get to it because it looks like they went back to try to suppress this information. But once this was in the case file, it's been in there since 2018. It's going to come to light. You've got internet sleuths, you got internet detectives and people looking for stuff like this. Now, it goes on to say Kendricks further contended that while he understood the court's reason for denying his motion to suppress the statements, a downward variance. Now, we'll leave that at that. And we're going to continue on to something else that I want to show you. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I know I've been neglecting the chat, but that's a lot of info, man. This is wild, man. I can't believe it. Because let's be real. Let's take a break for a second here and talk about Yak Gotti's other charges in the RICO indictment. Yak Gotti is being charged with being one of the people who's responsible for the shooting death of YFN Lucci's homeboy Nut. You know what I mean? You see him listed here as being one of the people who were involved in the shooting death and murder of Donovan Thomas Jr. And Donovan Thomas Jr. is this guy right here, a.k.a. OG Nut, a.k.a. Big Nut. Pause on that one, right? And that's supposed to be YFN Lucci's homeboy. YFN Lucci dedicated a whole mixtape album to him and everything, man. One of my favorite songs, Heartless, all that, right? I like this story, man. This story got legs, man. This is deep. This is deeper than rap for real. And man, let's go ahead and play that news report. And this is the story, the original news story when Nut ended up losing his life.
A very heavy police presence, Jessica. As you can see behind me, there is still quite the active scene here in Southwest Atlanta. McDaniel Street is still closed, and it has been for more than 3 hours. That's because there are shell casings up and down the street. Now, I'm told one of the men who was shot, a man in his mid-20s, is in critical condition.
Now, as you heard in that very first part, that was the scene outside of the barbershop where Nut lost his life. You know what I mean? Donovan Thomas Jr. You know what I mean? And this is the same guy who his gravesite had got defaced by somebody who wrote "Slide" on it in green spray paint. You know what I mean? Now, in this second part, they're going to talk a little bit in detail about, the scene that night.
But that his status could change for the worse overnight.
It appears that they were the intended target, but again, not sure the reason of the shooting.
Atlanta police are investigating why 2 men in their mid-20s and a 14-year-old boy were shot outside of a barber shop in Southwest Atlanta Saturday night.
Right now, it doesn't appear that they had any connection to the business. They were just kind of hanging out, is what we appear.
Investigators say it appears to have been a drive-by shooting, and according to several witnesses we spoke with, an automatic weapon was used.
Heard like a semi-automatic or something.
Now, as you heard there, it was a horrible scene, man. Multiple people got shot, as well as Nut, Donovan Thomas Jr. And, he was taken to the hospital, but he eventually succumbed to his wounds and ended up passing away, and that was a big loss for wife and Lucci. I know that was probably hanging over his head. And Yak Gotti was allegedly involved in that situation, according to, the case file. So this is wild, man. You got a 2018 case that was out there, and it's hard for me to believe that YSL or anybody in Young Thug's crew didn't do their homework. Because if you really want to get to the nitty gritty, and this is a big part of this, right? Yak Gotti's attorney the whole time is Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele. So either maybe they did something, and I'm shooting Yak Gotti a lot of bail here, so rock with me, man. I don't know if this is accurate, but maybe there was something on the back end where they tried to rectify the situation and get all that taken out, or say those statements weren't true or something like that. But man, to be real, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. After all we've read so far, that's enough for some people to be like, dude was out here telling. I'm not saying that, I ain't going with that, but man, it just doesn't look good. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm gonna keep it real. So let's actually look at something else. Let's look at something else before we close this out. So we'll say this, man, just to try to even this up and try not to throw Yak Gotti completely under the bus, because man, that was wild. All that was telling. Let's look at this right here, which that's actually the document that I showed you guys earlier. That's what we took the little excerpts for. But okay, the last part of this is what I wanted to talk about, actually. So let's talk about this right here, the very end. And we already discussed it. All right, yeah, we talked about Kendrick, aka Yak Gotti, also argues that his honesty with police during questioning, in which he knowingly and voluntarily waived his rights to an attorney, resulted in an enhancement to his offense level under the sentencing guidelines. But while district court did not expressly acknowledge in consideration of his acceptance of the responsibility, so they're saying he accepted responsibility. That's a lot of language there, right? The court reduced his offense level and sentenced him on a lower end on the sentencing range. So the extent that Kendrick's honesty may result in an increase in his offense level. Now remember, those offense levels are kind of like a point system on how they're going to sentence you when it comes to these federal/state cases combined, right? So it was accounted for and under the guidelines via reduction in the offense level. So they argued that basically his offense level was dropped. And you'll see, man, basically, well, we're not going to bring that up. But in another document, it shows that he was given, I want to say like 5 years in total, but like 3 years of supervised release. So in his supervised release, there was you could see where he had to check in. And basically, like in his supervised release, there were times that he went to Rolling Loud. He had to put in a document. Like every time, if you're under supervised release, you have to put in a motion in order to go somewhere out of town or somewhere special. He had to, every time he did that, he had to put in a motion into the case file for the same. And this goes all the way up to 2021. And that's what's got a lot of people looking at him with the side eye, because he's had this case lingering since 2015. And even up to 2021, he was still putting in motions because he was on supervised release to where he can go to Rolling Loud, to where he can go to New York, to go to some show that they had, all sorts of different shows all throughout the case file. You can see that, man. No doubt, man. Gotta love technology. But, man, this is what I wanted to show you. So this is the motion to suppress from that same case file. And it talks about DeMonte Kendricks, a.k.a. Yak Gotti. And it says this. Let's read it out. It says, comes now, defendant DeMonte Kendrick by and through undersigned counsel and request that his court hold a pretrial hearing to determine the legality of the statements obtained from Mr. Kendrick after his 1 October 2015 arrest. Mr. Kendrick was arrested after police stopped the vehicle he was allegedly driving after a short chase. He had an appearance on October 2nd, 2015. He was questioned on October 6th and October 12th, 2015. Upon information and belief, counsel for Mr. Kendrick filed appearances before he was questioned. So they're saying that his lawyer basically tried to chime in before he was questioned. So trying to knock the legality of those statements that were allegedly made, where he was alleged to throw Duke, one of the members of YSL, under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is all Duke's case. You know what I'm saying? He was the one who got jumped. He's the one who wanted to get the gun and all that. You know what I mean? That's what it was allegedly said. You know what I mean? Now, it also says initiation of criminal charges against Mr. Kendrick triggered his Sixth Amendment right to counsel and precluded officers for questioning him. Kirby versus Illinois, so they state in some case from the past that they want to reference, right? Whereof this court should set down a time to have a hearing on the matter so that all events leading up to Mr. Kendrick's questioning by law enforcement can be determined. So obviously, they were trying to get this suppressed. They were trying to get this taken out of the case file, and this was the attorney, I believe, for Mr. Kendrick's, some Nicole M. Kaplan. Now, also listed within the same case file was Brian Steele as one of his attorneys. And you know that's been a big point of contention because they're saying that because Brian Steele was listed as one of the attorneys in the case file for some of these rappers, these other rappers or these other people within the case, that somehow he should be a witness in the case as opposed to be representing Young Thug, man. But, man, with all that being said and all that information, what do y'all think about this, man? That was a lot. That was a lot. There's no way to pack all that into an 8-minute video or something like that, man. We had to really go through each and every step in the indictment and each and every step in the indictment that goes back to this 2015 case that went to the Court of Appeals in 2018 and basically said that Yak Gotti was telling on the dude named Duke from YSL, man. That's what it looks like it was saying. Now, I'm not saying he was officially, but that's what it said in there, and it said he did interview with the police, man. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, man. Y'all wilding on the likes, bro. We should be over 1,000 likes right now. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Run it up. Let's at least get up to 500 likes. Let's stop right there before we go on to our next topic, man. Because next, we're going to talk about Young Thug, man. And y'all tell me in the chat what y'all think about that, man. What do y'all think about the whole Yak Gotti situation, man? That's ugly. All right, everybody run them likes up, hit that like button right now, and we're going to proceed, man. We're going to go on to the next thing. All right, so let's talk about Young Thug. Young Thug's going to be in court tomorrow. Please be looking for me to comment on this situation because this is him finally getting his bond hearing, finally getting his ability to go in there and try to argue for bond. Now, there is a lot of scrutiny online because people do not like the way that this RICO case in particular has been handled. There's other RICO cases as well. Obviously, you have in Orlando, you've got a RICO case going on with Hot Boy and Glock 9. Excuse me. Then you have other RICO cases like the Casanova RICO case. And hip-hop seems like they've come together. Like people within the hip-hop industry and stuff have come together and say, hold up, man, this just doesn't seem fair under the Constitution and under people's rights. It seems like lyrics are being used too much and social media posts are being used too much for these people to be artists. You know what I'm saying? Because there's got to be a realm of creativity and an ability to lie to your fans, is what it seems like, right? Now, there's a guy by the name of Lawyer for Workers on Instagram, and he also went to social media to talk about these issues. Now, he didn't talk directly about the whole, well, he did. He talked about the whole lyrics in the case and stuff like that. But he made a video where he talked about Young Thug and his situation as far as him getting bond tomorrow. So let's look at that.
Tomorrow morning, a state court judge in Fulton County will hear the bond argument on behalf of Jeffrey Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug. Why is it so important? If Young Thug can get caught up in the system like this, ask yourself what's happening to countless African-American men across this country in the post-George Floyd era. Let me break down the Young Thug argument. The judge asks, okay, is this person a flight risk? Is he going to go away? Young Thug responds, I was born in Atlanta. I was raised in Atlanta. I go everywhere in the world. I could be anywhere in the world. I always come back to the state of Georgia. As to whether I'm going to commit a felony while I'm out, I've never committed a felony once. As to whether or not I'm going to come to my court appearances, I have made every single court appearance every time I've gotten caught up in the system. As to whether or not I'm a threat to witnesses or other people in the community, I have hired a private security firm with an army of police, former police, including a chief of police, and they're going to monitor everybody who comes in and out. Nobody gets in or out unless they're approved. No messages, no communications get in or out without the police being able to see them. How under that set of conditions can I get a bond?
Now, as you heard there, he talked about the fact that Young Thug is making a pretty good case for bond. You know, his lawyer is coming with some things, man. Now, he's basically saying that, yo, just like Gunna, they'll do the above and beyond just to get him bond, man. Just for him to get an ability to get out here and just do his thing. Now, there's a whole movement going on where it's believed that everybody should get bond. You know, like, regardless, you should be able to get bond. Like, you not being able to get bond, it's tricky because, let's be real, in these RICO indictments, somebody who's an artist, a rapper, and they're in a RICO indictment and they're not able to get bond, they're not able to make money to continue things to go on as possible. So they're not able to fight their case as best as they could through the resources they have from going to shows, doing appearances, and walkthroughs. It's a big strategy move on behalf of the prosecutors, it seems. You know what I mean? Not saying they playing dirty like that, but it just seems like that in some ways. Now, the lawyer that was just talking also went in depth about this in this post right here. Now, in this post, he wanted to address, you know, lyrics being used in cases and a lot of things of that nature as far as it comes to Young Thug. You know what I mean? And he said this. So let's look at this exactly. He said, song lyrics and words of a prosecutor should not be enough to hold someone when they show such deep ties to the community and a plan for house arrest that eliminates the risk of threats to witnesses or acts of violence. Like, as he said in the video, Young Thug and them are basically saying, just like Gunna, like, yo, you can watch everything we do. You can watch each communication. I have private security that'll do things. Just allow me to fight this case from the street so that way I can keep making money, provide for my family and whatnot. You stopping me from being able to do that seems like a dirty trick. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it going. Now, he also said, my opinion is the prosecutor should show some evidence, and if they can't or won't, then there should be a bond. If you think otherwise, I don't think you are giving credence to the principle innocent until proven guilty. And he makes a good claim there. Like, okay, with Gunna specifically, like, come on, man, Gunna almost seems like he got roped into this case, to be real with you. And I know I say that a lot. And I know the 2017 case with all the guns and all that, man, I get that. But even in that case, he was riding in the car. It wasn't like it was found on his person and stuff like that. So it's like, for him not to get bond and for Young Thug not to get bond, I don't know, man. It seems like a miscarriage of justice to at some point, but I understand that they don't want anybody with any type of influence being able to do anything that'll alter the case or, you know, mess with any witnesses or anything like that. But when somebody is coming and saying, yo, you could basically monitor my lifestyle. You can look at my posts on social media. You can look at my text messages. You can look at my phone. You can monitor every person who comes to my house. What prevents them from being able to get bond? Unless you don't want them to have bond because you don't want them to do shows and you don't want to make money, is what comes to my mind. Not saying that's facts, but come on, let's be for real, man. That is a big weapon in these RICO cases, being able to lock somebody down to where they can't make no money, man. Because you take away somebody's money, you take away their ability to fight in that trial. That's facts. I mean, at least that's how I see it. You know what I mean? We'll say it like that, man. But I don't know. Other people have also come out to talk about this situation, right? And Meek Mill being one of them. Now, Meek Mill has been on his I don't know what to call it, man. Like he's been an advocate for people in tough spots or whatever, and taken to social media and talked about a lot of cases. And let's be real, man. He's been like one of those dudes who about legal reform and stuff like that, and looking out for people who are in tough spots. Now, Meek Mill, for all intents and purposes, I know a lot of people have issues with Meek for whatever reason, man. Like, I don't get it, because when Dreams and Nightmares comes on in the club, we all reciting it like it's gospel almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I guess he got a classic in that situation. We'll leave that alone. But to be real, he put this post out in social media, on Twitter, where he's known for making mistakes. But he said this. He said, "Free Thug, free Gunna, free YSL, everybody deserve a bail." And that's kind of a movement that him and Jay-Z are moving on. They actually have a law that was brought in front of the state Senate in New York, and they're trying to get it pushed all the way to the federal government, where you can't use anybody's lyrics against them in a RICO case or any federal case unless they specifically mention an exact murder or something like that. And I know there's rappers in the past who have actually done something that wild and stupid, but if it's outside of that, you shouldn't be able to use the lyrics is what they're going by. And they're pushing hard on that. And they've got a lot of money behind them pushing that. And other state representatives and things trying to push for that. And a lot of people feel like, man, that seems only fair within the law, because to be honest, hip hop is a music genre, and it's for expression. Yeah, you might say that you were shooting up the block or you were doing something crazy, and we all know it's not real. But nobody should be able to come back, even especially if it's not real, to say, hold up, you said this in this rhyme, we're going to relate this to this case and lock you up, is what they're saying. You know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe fans feel a certain way about that, but I think they might have a point in what they're pushing there. Now, this is up to great debate because of the whole drill situation, but we'll see how this turns out for Young Thug tomorrow, man. Now, let's get to our final topic, man. Our final topic. And y'all, man, show your boy some love on that like button, man. Y'all wildin'. And let's talk about this whole King Yella situation, man. Now, King Yella is a rapper from Chicago, man. He's a drill rapper from Chicago, well known. And, you know, he has an opinion about a lot of things on social media. And he also seemed like he was doing some blogging for a minute there, man. I don't know if he stopped blogging, but something touched him, man. And with pause on that, but something had him, you know, in his feelings, I should say. And it was the death of people around him. Now, just yesterday, we talked about a story. Let me get this Young Thug picture out of here. Sorry about that, y'all. Just yesterday, we talked about the fact that FYB J-Man, who for all intents and purposes I know is cool with King Yella. They almost from the same, you know, whatever. And not even almost. Like they're tied together. King Yella was it seemed like he was feeling it about the situation that took place in Chicago this weekend. Now, FYB J-Man, he took to social media because his brother allegedly got shot, a guy by the name of FYB DJ, and another gentleman by the name of FYB Trigger also got shot, man. National news stories, all sorts of stuff, because this was the highest shooting and crime rate in Chicago, well, violent crime rate for Chicago on Memorial Day weekend in 5 years. They actually had a downslide last year. It was going in the right direction, and for some reason this year, things just went crazy. And 2/3 of those people who were shot or either, you know, lost their life looked like they were closely related to either King Yella, or not closely affiliated with either King Yella or FYB J-Man, man. So it's crazy, man. Now, King Yella took to social media and he posted a video where he was crying and talking about, you know, all the people that he's lost in the street. You know, a lot of people looked at this, and to be honest, as immature as social media is sometimes, the realness of it had people really taking a look back and thinking about, you know, how tragic a situation this is and how horrible a situation this is for somebody. So let's actually look at that clip, man. Let me bring that up. Oh, my bad.
For real, good.
And while I'm working this out and bringing this up, man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man, for your boy.
For real, good. They already been losing this game. Everybody, for real. I done lost the game too. I grew up with guys, so it's like, you know what I'm saying, folks? Like, you don't understand that you playing these games, they ain't never lost. They ain't really losing. For no, yeah, off the line, I lost every game. Tired of this shit, man.
Okay, now you heard King Yella himself crying, man, hurting, basically saying that it's crazy out there, you know, that people are losing their life like this, and that he lost 2 close friends recently, man. People who are close to him, people who he respected, people he knew all his life. Like, that's wild, man. Think about, there's people, and we've all lost people, man. I doubt, you know, contrary to what he said, you know, I don't know anybody who hasn't lost somebody to the streets. I know I have, you know what I'm saying? I know everybody, pretty much anybody I could think of has. But for those who haven't, that should resonate with you. You know what I'm saying? It should hit you a little deep. But it should let you know that, you know what I mean? This thing is real out here. And King Yella was really feeling it. And I'm guessing, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing this is based off the news of what took place as far as, you know, FYB, J-Man, and all they crew and things, that all the losses that they took this weekend, man. It was horrible, man. You know, for one person to have that many people around them get shot in a weekend, and I'm talking about FYB, J-Man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And obviously, King Yella was feeling it, so he said it.
For real, guys. They already been losing this game. Everybody, for real. I done lost the game too. I grew up with guys, so it's like, you know what I'm saying, folks? Like, you don't understand that you playing these games, they ain't never lost. They ain't really losing. For no, yeah, off the line, I lost every game. Tired of this shit, man.
Now, with that, you can see King Yella was obviously feeling that. He was feeling, you know, he was in his feelings and stuff like that. But like social media does, you know, they can turn a positive into a negative. I mean, hopefully that people got a positive message from that. But he had to reply because people were saying some negative things, it seemed like. So he said this on social media right here. And hopefully you guys can read that. If you can't, let me know in the comments. But I took this post from Say Cheese, and it says this. It says, King Yella explains why he posted a video of him crying. I showed me crying because some people need to see the real feelings. So basically letting it be known that he wanted people to see the real feelings, like when things go down. You know, everybody can put up this tough persona or facade when street stuff is taking place, but deep down inside, everybody's a freaking human, man. Like, I don't care how kill, drill you are, man, in your music. Like, if somebody close to you, you've known all your life, you shared experiences with, times with, went through life with, loses their life, that's going to hit you hard, man. You know what I mean? So it says this right here in King Yella's post, obviously on his story. It said, I showed me crying because some people need to see real feelings. That's what's wrong with the world now. Excuse me. Too much gangster, but not enough real. You know what I mean? Let it be known that he feels like it's too many people out here trying to keep it gangster without keeping it real, man. So regardless of what people say about King Yella in the video crying and all that, If he was honest in his feelings and his emotions, and that's how he felt at the time, salute to him, man. Because ain't nothing wrong, man. We all human. Sometimes you got to let it out. And if two people die that you know that are close to you, like you said in the video, ain't nothing wrong with that. You don't lose no points with the G. You don't lose no points with me. Now, with that, man, this been your boy, Big Man. Hold up. Let me check the comment section, man. See what you guys are up in here doing in the chat. All right, man. I see y'all. All right, man. So with that, this been your boy, Big Man. Y'all do me a favor. Everybody, on your way out, man, we got 1,400 people up in here. It looks like, man, make sure we get 1,400 likes on our way out of here. And with that, this been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace. And yeah, man, shout out to the chat and everybody who showed up to comment. And man, I had to dig to get that paperwork. So hopefully, man, y'all show me love on that like button and we out of here. Peace.